Hey, welcome to Kracks Country Cooking. It's getting cold out. You know what that means? Time for some chili. Smoked chuck chili. Let's go. So you're going to love this recipe. We're going to take a 3 to 4 pound chuck roast. We're going to tie it up with some butcher's twine. What this is going to do is going to make it more uniform. It's going to plump it up, allow it to cook a lot more evenly. Once it's tied up, we're going to season it with Killer Hog's TX brisket rub. Don't forget to do the sides. And then we're going to throw it on a 275-degree smoker, and we'll check on it in a few hours. First thing you're going to need is about a pound of ground beef. Grind your own, get some from the store. I'm using 80/20 from the store. Push it in so it gets a nice sear on there. We're going to use some Killer Hog's TX brisket rub on there. You also need a pound of hot sausage. If you make your own sausage, you can do that. You don't have to use hot sausage. The hot sausage I use comes in a tube, something Dean. It's not that hot. It goes perfect with this chili recipe. We just push it in. Let's let these break these up now. The chuck roast is about halfway done on the smoker. Forgot you need 1 diced onion. So while that's cooking away, I'll get this onion ready. Now we're going to put in Malcom's Bonafide chili seasoning, 2 tablespoons. You want a little bit more of a kick, you can add another tablespoon. Give that a good mix. Oh yeah, you can smell that now. That smells good. Now you're going to take some Baron Burton's W sauce. On a 1/4 cup of that. That's the secret. That adds such a good flavor to this chili. You really should use that, the Baron Burton's. It's way different than the other Worcestershires that are available on the market. So we're going to add 2 cans of diced tomatoes and green chilies. You want the water and everything. Mix that in. Now 2 cans of fire roasted diced tomatoes. So what we do is we start reducing this down, boiling off all the water, but it really intensifies the flavors. It's really good. Now we got a 10-ounce jar of fire roasted red pepper. Mix that in. Hey guys, future me, editing the video today. It stopped after 8 minutes. I don't know why the camera stopped working, probably because I'm using GoPros. Right there is 2 bottles of ragu. We're going to pour those into the Dutch oven. We're going to let it simmer for about 30 minutes, half covered, and stir it again and check on it. Make sure it's not burning, make sure it's just simmering. And then the camera picks up right here, so who knows. All right, we're 45 minutes in. I stirred it probably twice. Just make sure nothing's burning on the bottom. You can see it's reduced down a little bit. It's still pretty liquidy, but we probably have another hour left of this simmering. So at this point, what I do is I take a half a teaspoon of baking soda, and what that's going to do is that's going to counteract the acid in the tomato sauce and stuff and help you from getting heartburn and stuff like that. You don't have to put it in there. I think it really helps. Saves you on Tums. So we're gonna let this go for another hour. I will go check on the chuck roast on the smoker. Once that gets to about 200 degrees, I'm gonna pull it in, chop it, and throw it in here. I will stir this probably every 10 to 15 minutes, just make sure nothing's burning. Once the chuck hits about 170 degrees internal and the bark looks the way we want it to look, we're gonna wrap it using a boil boat method. This will help speed up the cooking and it'll help darken up the bark on the outside. So it's been about an hour. Stirred it every 10 to 15 minutes. This is where I like it. I don't want it to reduce down anymore, really. It looks good. Now, I'm gonna put in a can of white and a can of red kidney beans. It's not that serious. I don't care if you don't like beans in your chili, don't put it in there if you don't like it. It's not that big of a deal. It's way worse things you could be doing. Like using A1 steak sauce on steak and shit like that. When it comes to chili, I like beans. And 2 cans of beans in this big of a pot, 6-quart Dutch oven, it's not that many beans. So I'm going to set this over on the side. That chuck roast was done about half an hour ago. I've been letting it sit on the counter, cooling down. I hit 200, 230 degrees. We're going to slice that up, throw it in our chili, and then we'll start plating and try it. So here's our chuck. It's got good bark on it. What we're going to do is we're going to cut the ends down. Don't forget to pull that string off. You don't want to embarrass yourself and have somebody chewing on string. Now this one, I'm going to set aside for plating. I'll set the burnt ends I'm going to set aside for plating purposes. That is good. Look, it's got a good smoke ring on it. See, now this is cooled down a little bit. It's thickened up. Now we will stir in some of our chuck. Now that's a hearty looking chili right there. So now we're going to try this. Just see what the salt levels are and stuff like that. I don't want to do too much salt in the beginning process because I am reducing it down. Concentrate all the flavors. It'll make it too salty. You can always add salt at the end. I'll do a pinch of salt. 2 pinches. Alright, now it's time to plate it. So we'll take our bowl, put in a nice scoop of our chili. A scoop and a half. Some freshly grated cheddar cheese. A dollop of sour cream. A jalapeno. And one of our burnt ends. Look at this. This thing looks fucking good. My word. That is so good. It's not overly heavily smoked because you just smoked the brisket. Or excuse me, you can use brisket if you want. It's not overly smoked because you just smoked the chuck, which is the way I like it. I don't like a lot of smoke on a lot of food. So you get a classic chili, and then you get that little bit of a smokiness from the chuck. So good. My word. I had no flies in this house all summer. Now it's fall, and I can't get rid of them. Drive me crazy. This is so good. Man. It's not really hot. There's a little bit of a bite, barely there. If you wanted more of a bite, just put a couple more tablespoons of this in it. That's all you need. I don't like mine burn you out of the house hot. And there is beans, it's just a couple beans. Don't start crying in the comments about beans don't belong in chili. They do. Oh yeah, that hot sausage is in there too. That is so good. I love having the hot sausage in the chili. It's better than just, you know, I enjoy it better than just having ground beef in there. I mean, look at that. So that's our video, the smoked chuck Bonafide chili recipe. It's really good. It gives you a good baseline too. If you wanted more spices in there, you could add peppers, more of the chili seasoning. You could pick yourself up some Malcom's Bonafide chili seasoning. I'll have a link in the description. The recipe's in the description. It's really easy. The longest thing it takes is for the chuck roast, but you do that 275 to 300 degree range. Wrap it when it gets to like 175, 180, and let it finish about 200, 205 degrees. 200 is probably fine. Let it sit on the counter for half an hour. Cube it up, toss it in your chili. It's going to reheat up the brisket or the chuck roast, whatever you used, and that's it. All right, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, share, you know, do everything you're supposed to do. All right, it's dinner time.